All right. Cool. So this is most of the Root Access Board of Directors hanging out the day before Pi Day to celebrate Pi Day and pies and the Raspberry Pi. So yeah, we're just gonna hang out and eat some pie. So what's everybody got? I know Brooke and I have a raspberry pie as it slides off onto my laptop. So that'll be cool.
I believe that's
How about y'all?
homemade, right, Brooke?
Yes.
Nice. Nice. Mine is I believe it's razzleberry from the reopened Marie Callender's. So I'm very excited. Chris goes with yours.
You take it and bake it Marie Callender's Dutch apple.
Yep.
Ooh. Yum.
It's very tasty.
Go in a row.
I had partaked right before this.
Oh no, my husband went and got it like an hour ago, and I was like, yes, I will wait. And I did. That's like the first time that's happened.
Right.
Terrible at waiting.
Cool. I'm gonna dig in.
Happy pie.
All right.
Happy Pie Day.
Happy Pie Day.
Mhm.
I really hope I made this well.
Happy Pie Day from Root Access.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is hella good.
I was so tired. I screwed up and I had to throw out a third and a cup of sugar and 4 tablespoons of Caro syrup because I did the steps wrong.
Oh
Aw.
no. I'm so happy that I'm finally eating a raspberry pie for Pi Day.
Yeah.
We've tried so long to get a raspberry, like you can't get a raspberry pie
Mm-mm.
anywhere locally. Got to make it yourself.
Mhm.
Yay for Pinterest.
Yay, Pinterest.
All right. So what is y'all's favorite kind of pie?
That's a really hard question. I'm a lady who wants basically pudding inside my pie crust. So like a Boston cream, like a banana cream, I like that. And if they have like the chocolate coated pie crust is solid too.
Nice.
We're actually having my favorite right now is the apple pie. I love apple pie.
Yeah. Do you have a
I think
preference
it's
between
because
like?
you eat it and it's like it's really good flavor, but you even when you overeat it a little bit, you don't get the stomach aches like you do with some other pies.
Do you have a preference between like regular apple pie and Dutch apple pie?
I don't actually.
Just apple.
I just love apple. Yeah.
Is
I don't know
Dutch
what
the kind with the
about
crumble?
that, but, you know.
Yep.
I like apple too. It makes me feel like it's a tiny bit healthy, but you know, it's a lie.
It's very much a lie.
It's
Yep.
just fruit, you guys. So much fruit.
Oh my god.
Derek, I have
Oh
the
my
3D print if you want it.
The what?
The 3D print of us being on the Slack call.
Yes.
um
I can't share it though. You have to enable sharing. Sorry.
Oh, I thought there was something wrong with it.
If we can get that still of us having the pies themselves, I think that would be even cooler.
We can do that.
I keep feeling like very Twin Peaks. I made myself some damn fine coffee.
Nice.
What? Wait, what is that?
It's a lithophane.
Oh my goodness.
of
Oh,
all of
no.
us eating pie.
Oh no.
Derek's the only one who actually has the fork.
I love that the Zoom glasses show up on there too.
How the heck? Every picture that I take of you, you're like photogenic for some reason, and I
What
think
can I
it's
say?
like that was 2 random times the last 2 days.
Oh my gosh, Derek. I've been meaning to ask you if you've ever seen It's a TV show. It's like Canadian. It's on Netflix, and it's like oh my gosh, it's so funny. But there's a guy on there that looks just like you, and it's like they're computer nerds
Mhm.
or like video game nerds, and I'm like, that's like a uniform. You have like the uniform. You have like the long hair and like the facial hair.
Long hair, don't care.
Oh, Letterkenny.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I've
there's
seen
like
I've seen Letterkenny when it was still like it started out as like a bunch of YouTube videos, I think, right?
Oh,
Or
really?
something like that, yeah, before it got super popular.
hmm
Maybe it didn't. Maybe it was I don't know, but I saw like I've seen a bunch of like the earlier Letterkenny stuff.
Were you like, oh my goodness, this man looks just like me? I want to
So
go
what
break dance on cardboard.
What I saw was it was like a lot of like disparate, disjointed clips. So like each clip of someone talking, like there wasn't any sort of like cohesive story or anything. It was just like random things,
Yeah.
It was funny, but I haven't gotten like into it yet.
hmm
But I've heard it's really good.
hmm
Cool.
So good.
So
Derek, what's your favorite kind of pie?
Yeah, what is
yeah,
it?
that's what I was just thinking about. So like when it comes to pie and me, I don't judge. I thoroughly enjoy all pies. Whether it's banana cream, Boston cream, chocolate cream, whatever, or the fruit pies, raspberry, apple, cherry, doesn't matter. I love if it's a pie, I want to eat it. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, but I
Um,
feel like your favorite
that-
is like
that being
pumpkin
said-
or sweet potato.
That being said, I will wreck a pumpkin pie. I will absolutely go in and devour that.
See, that's perfect because I don't actually like pumpkin pie. I like chocolate pie more. I like apple pie the best. But like that would be a perfect ensemble right there. It's just everyone else can have the pumpkin pie, and I will have whatever else everybody else brings.
I will say too, like when it comes to pies, it's weird because I love pies. However, ever since I was a kid, the crust, I have never liked the crust. I will eat an entire pie and leave just a ring of crust uneaten. I just don't know.
Unacceptable.
Derek, did you eat the crust I made?
I mean, there's not much of a crust on this. Also, it's really crumbly.
Oh, there's not enough butter. There is so much sugar in the recipe that I made, though. It's ridiculous. I need to do insulin like now.
God.
In my calories. Oh, God.
No, it was like in the pie crust alone, it's a graham cracker crumble. There's like a third of a cup of sugar in the crust alone. And then in what I made for the pie topping, there was a cup and a third of sugar and 4 tablespoons of Caro syrup with the raspberries. And then with the cream cheese like filling on the bottom, there's Cool Whip, there's half a cup of powdered sugar, and then there's like 4 ounces of cream cheese. So it's like this pie has so much sugar. I need to do insulin like now.
Yeah, I'm worried for you guys. I can eat that all I want. It sounds delicious, but also
It just means
deadly.
more for me to eat.
hmm
I'm totally getting another slice after this. So how about the raspberry pie? Not the kind you eat that I'm eating, but the electronics, right? What anybody have any favorite projects that they've seen, or anybody want to do anything cool with a raspberry pi?
I personally think the most impressive one out of all the Raspberry Pi projects, and the one that keeps bringing people back, is the Retro Pi project. just being able to play all those old games again, that seems to be like the most impressive project that it can be. It used to be the old desktop cycle, but man, does
Yeah.
RetroPie bring in people? No, not just,
RetroPie and media servers too.
yeah,
Setting up like a Cody box, things like that. Like those for the average person, really get them into Raspberry Pi stuff. I think
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I'm probably most impressed by the first time I really saw a Raspberry Pi in action. And that was when you had it and you were running Minecraft off of it. And our kiddo got to play Minecraft thanks to this tiny little, it was the first time I'd ever seen one, but this credit card of a computer.
Mhm.
And you explained to me like it was developed so that kids could learn Python and that it could go to underdeveloped countries because it was so inexpensive. And the whole thing was just a computer. Because I had seen towers and laptops and
Yep.
it was just this big. And our kiddo got to play on it. And then you bought them one for Christmas and you were teaching them programming off of it. And that was just so cool to me. Like, because it was so personal. It was what our family was doing with it.
Mhm.
And it's great to see what the community does with it. But my most impressive experiences with it is what you've done with it for our kiddo.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's fascinating. Like just watching how the platform has evolved since it came out in, what was that, 2011, I think was when the Pi first came out. So we're on, 10 years of the Raspberry Pi now, just about, which is super fascinating to me.
yeah.
I think my favorite one so far would actually be the SatNogs satellite tracking setup, because every other Raspberry Pi project that I've done is its own thing, right? And you can interact with it and hook it up to some hardware and do cool things, and that's neat. Or it's like an IoT device. But SatNogs, that's something that's sitting on the roof here at the Hackerspace, listening to signals from space satellites that are going overhead and tracking them. And to me, that is just the coolest thing. It satisfies my sort of techie electronics nerd side of me, and also the nerdy space side of me. So yeah, I think that one so far, I'm really looking forward to having a display set up back here in the space, showing
Yeah.
that in real time again.
So I forgot that we should have powered the RTL SDR not off of the Pi, but on the little adapter. So that might be the reason why we're not getting too much right now.
Mm.
I completely forgot about how we had set that up back then, where the Pi just doesn't have enough power to power the RTL SDR. It's just like
Mhm.
barely there. And the reason I remember that is because of that 3D print that I did. I was like, man, that came in really, really like sound. And then I was looking at even some of the ones that didn't really come in that well, and they were about double the amount of sound that you can see.
Mhm.
And I think that the next door, when the Tai Chi Center was there, they were actually making some interference. So we were actually getting too much signal. And that's why I had the FM radio
Yeah,
filter. So it's
it
we need
should.
to find somehow just some way to power those guys.
As another like FYI, it should clear up a little more up there, because we just took down all of the Purple Air monitors. So it's no longer sitting on top of 20 Wi-Fi devices.
Oh, really?
So
What was that?
yesterday is when we took them down. So
Were those
I'll be
just
curious.
up there acclimatizing to Fresno?
Yeah. We set them all up in one location, so that we can run like calibrations on them and get like a solid baseline for all of them, so we know that how they react, when they're monitoring the same air.
Mhm.
So we've done a few different batches of them, and then we have one master that's been up there for every batch, So we're just using all of that to kind of just get, like I said, like a baseline to see how the sensors actually react. That way, when they go out into the community up and down the Central Valley, we know how we can, sort of adjust the data that we get off of them so that they're more in line with like an actual regulatory air monitor. So,
Yeah.
and I'll be talking about that in another Pi Day video.
Heyo.
So,
I think really the most experience I've had with a Raspberry Pi was working at, or not working, like volunteering at a Women in Engineering Day. We had like high schooler girls come in and they programmed these little like remote control cars. And those were somehow using Raspberry Pi. Like I'm not super familiar, like I would not be able to do it. Like I tried to help them and was like, yeah. But yeah, so they came in and did that. And that was really cool because they were, they didn't know anything before they came in, and they were able to, by the end of it, learn how to program a car to like go up a ramp and go down a ramp and like turn around and stuff like that. It was pretty neat.
Super cool.
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, it was really fun. It's pre-pandemic days when we could get together. It was great.
We have a wheelchair base here, and I would love to wire it up to a Raspberry Pi and be able to control it and drive it around.
No.
Sean did.
Huh.
Yeah, he did for one that he has, but he brought another one over here. So we just need the motor board and then hook that up to a Raspberry Pi and do some fun things with that.
That'd be very cool.
So
Yeah.
the project that we've always talked about is having like a mobile butler, when we have like events, whatnot,
have
just put like a
these-
table on it
Yeah.
and it just
Yeah.
walks around with like drinks, drives around, not walks around.
Yeah, with a little champagne.
Yep.
Perfect. We have a little butler, like a little butler stand, and it has like the creepiest head, like a little platform. We call him Jeeves.
We could put a little tiny speaker on it and run my Butler program, which is basically just a little tiny. What was it? What did we do the last time for Python? Man, that was a while back. Didn't I put up the code at some point? I don't remember where I put it. I don't remember where I put it, darn it. Well, anyway, it basically is Python script that speaks to you.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Real easy to work with. And it just runs on basically any Linux distro at all. So I'd probably just wire it up to the Raspberry Pi and just have little events, have it going to like 4 different corners of the room, I guess. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Map out the room and then they can know where it is in the room. That way, that could be a way to avoid bumping into tables.
Mm-hmm.
Although we'd still probably want some sensors on it so that it doesn't bump into people.
I was thinking that's the way to program the meat bags in the room rather than the robot. The robot's just going to keep doing what it's doing.
Maybe
Well,
leave
I mean-
a little track on the floor so people know.
We could do that. I mean, if we had like an array of ultrasonic distance sensors at various heights, looking in 6 or 8 directions, and then just ping those
Mhm.
constantly, and then if the bot is going in a direction and the sensor pointed in that direction sees something within 20 inches, then it just stops and won't proceed. Could be a cool way to do it. Then we get into like how do we wire up 20 ultrasonic distance sensors.
I think you're overthinking this. I think what you would just need to do is have one of those whisker sensors. You ever see those?
Mm-mm.
So you take, this is how we did it in Engineering 1. You take 2 hangers and you stick them on here, and if they make a circuit, they know that they've hit something. It's like a cat whisker. And that's it. That's the design right there. Now, it's not the greatest. It's not like yours where we get you to get 20 different sensors. But we only had like 3 sensors to begin with. So we would just have the bot stop and then move around like this. But it would map out the room, which was really cool by itself.
Hmm.
So you would have these little racetrack looking things, and you'd have a maze, right? And you'd have, it's
Mhm.
called a Bobot. It's one of the classic kits. They've had them around for like 15 years now. But I say all this like, oh, it's easy. No, no, no. It's really super hard for some of the parts. The easiest part is actually getting the robot to work, to actually go back and forth. The hardest part is thinking about the algorithms like, oh, do you take right only, right? And how do you map things? And we had to do that in BASIC. And I think if I had Python back then, oh my God, would this be so much easier?
If you had Python back then, you might have stuck with computer engineering.
Computer engineering, yeah, I might have. MicroPython and CircuitPython, man, it's so much easier to do things now. Like, it's just, why? Why wasn't it that easy when I was a kid and when I was beginning college? Oh my God. The Bobot project, I bought like the main circuit board. It was $150, and it used up like all of my money. Like, that was just all of my money at that time. And nowadays you can just get for $5 a Raspberry Pi Pico, and the Pico has more. This freaking thing has more power than the Bobot did, by far.
Mm-hmm. I think we're gonna need to set up some kind of leveling for the cups, right? So they'll like suspend, right? Something so it's not like it kind of like a gyroscope, right? So it's like you can put them in and it's weighted, because when it stops and starts, it might spill stuff over. But if we have it secure enough and where it's not super jarred, it might be okay. I like it, you guys. We've made serving drinks really complicated. And we got to put lights on it. We're going to put lots of LEDs.
Absolutely need LEDs.
Maybe some fringe, some sparkly fringe. I'm not sure.
Sounds good. Let's make it happen. We can show it off at Pi Day in 2022 in person, which would be rad.
We can dress it up for like Pride and all the holidays.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We'll give it a name.
When we walk in the Pride Parade, we'll just have it go with us.
Yeah, I like it.
Done. Cool. Well, I'm done with my pie, and I think I'm going to go get a second. So I think we're probably good to end the recording here. For everybody out there, happy Pi Day.
Happy
Thanks
Pi
for
Day.
hanging out.
Happy Pi Day.
Happy Pi Day.